This week's Parsha is Parshat Vayechi, which is the last Parsha in all of Sefer Breshit, and also the end of all the Joseph and his brothers' stories. In this week's Parsha, Yaakov blesses his children and then passes away. In the last chapter, Yosef and his brothers are mourning Yaakov, but then the brothers approach Yosef and say, We're nervous. We're nervous now that Yaakov has died, that you are going to execute punishment on us. They're talking about all the way back in Parshat Vayechi when they sold Yosef into slavery, that maybe he's holding some animosity against them, that when Yaakov was still alive, maybe Yosef decided not to act upon, but now that he has passed, maybe now this animosity between brothers will appear again. Yosef says, Hatachat Elohim ani, am I God to decide how to determine justice or not? And says ultimately they can live together in peace and be together as a family. The Midrash in Masechet Sotah teases out this idea a bit further and points out that maybe this is really a discussion about chosenness and what's going to be happening to chosenness after Yaakov's passing. It starts off with pointing out the word Goren HaAtad, the threshing floor of Atad. This is where the brothers and Yosef mourn Yaakov. It's an interesting location choice. It's a threshing floor, seemingly by someone named Atad, but Atad also can mean a thorny kind of plant. So the Gemara asks, why would there be a thorny kind of plant in a threshing floor? Threshing floors are for plants that are edible, and you can't thresh a thorn in order to eat. So what's going on there? Rabbi Abahu explains that actually what was there were thorns, but thorns that actually were crowns. So they were crowny thorns that were worn by all of the brothers, and as a sign of mourning, they put them around in the shape of a circle, which is the shape of a threshing floor, around Yaakov's casket, and that was the way that they mourned. Not only did the brothers put a circle of crowns around Yaakov's casket, they also invited the brothers, the descendants of Esav and Yishmael, to come and put their crowns along with them, which is a really interesting choice. Why bring these descendants back? These are the descendants of Avraham and Yitzchak, and then also related to Yaakov, that seem to have not been chosen in the same way to be a part of eventually what would come to the Jewish people, and yet they're here as well. What is that about? It seems that the concern, especially because these crowns are the things that they are putting in the circle, that this is an opportunity to mend some kind of cycle that has been happening throughout all of Breshit. We've been seeing chosenness tear apart families for many generations now. Avraham, when it comes to Yitzchak and Yishmael, Yitzchak choosing Yaakov and Esav, and then also Yaakov choosing Yosef versus the brothers. It almost happens with Yosef's children also, but then Yosef prevents Yaakov from doing it again with Ephraim and Manasseh and ensures that they are at equal field as opposed to being chosen one over the other. It seems that this symbolism of putting crowns all equally around Yaakov, that we are seeing an image that almost seems to be telling us that this cycle of chosenness doesn't need to be that way. We all are descendants from Avraham and have a mission from God in our own respective ways, and maybe this opportunity to mourn Yaakov together is a way to bring these broken families back together as well. And this, I thought, was a really beautiful tie-in to thinking about the engagement in the pshat, in the literal meaning of the text, of the brothers and Yosef. Part of what they're concerned about is in this cycle of chosenness, they're still on the bottom. Yosef was chosen. And in the consolation between Yosef and the brothers there, it seems like Yosef is saying, we don't need to worry anymore. Yes, there was pain in the past. Part of why this pain was set up was the sense of chosenness, but now ultimately all of our crowns get to be surrounding Yaakov, and we can move on together as a family. Shabbat Shalom.